This is Standing Watch. And now, Evangelist Norbert Link.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome back to our Standing Watch program. It is hard to believe that 80 years ago, World War II began. It was the war which was supposed to end all wars, but of course it did not. And neither was World War I, which was fought until 1918. Since the end of World War II in 1945, I don't know how many wars we've had, but a fundamental, all-encompassing World War III is going to happen very soon. A war so bad that if Jesus Christ would not return to shorten the days and to end it, no human being would survive. I'd like to go back now to the events which pictured the beginning of World War II, because many facts have been suppressed as to what really happened. And I do want to also talk about the lessons we could have learned from that war, and we did not. The Huffington Post wrote on September 2, the German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier on Sunday asked Poland to forgive his country for its role in World War II. Steinmeier joined German Chancellor Angela Merkel and other world leaders for events marking the 80th anniversary of the start of World War II, which was September 1, 1939, which began when the Nazis attacked Poland. Nearly 6 million Poles were among the 50 million people who died in World War II, the deadliest conflict in human history, which will be nothing in comparison to the next World War, which is going to be fought very soon. The article goes on to say that the Polish president scolded Europe for not standing up to Adolf Hitler sooner. He also criticized Western leaders who have been soft on Russian President Vladimir Putin after Moscow's aggression in Georgia in 2008 and Ukraine in 2014. Closing one's eyes is not a recipe for peace, he said. It is a simple way to give permission for further attacks. And he is absolutely 100% correct. Let's talk a little bit about the role of Russia when it comes to World War II. The EU Observer wrote on August 23 that 5 EU states have issued a statement condemning a World War II-era German-Russian treaty which divided Europe. The treaty, signed between Soviet Foreign Minister Molotov and his German counterpart Joachim von Ribbentrop on 23 August 1939, sparked World War II and doomed half of Europe to decades of misery. The foreign ministries of Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, and Romania said on Friday, August 23, the day of its 80th anniversary. But it goes much further than that. Politics wrote on August 22. From the very beginning of the Second World War until the Nazi invasion of the USSR in June 1941, the Soviet Union was on the same side of the war as Hitler. Everyone remembers Hitler invading Poland on September 1, 1939. A lot of people conveniently forget that the USSR invaded Poland from the east only a few weeks later. Indeed, Soviet and German troops staged a joint parade at Brest along their newly defined frontier. 250,000 Polish prisoners of war found themselves in Soviet camps, not German ones. Many were massacred at Katyn in 1940. The alliance between Russia and Germany was economic as much as geopolitical. The amount of trade between the two nations during the 1939 to 1941 period was staggering. Massive amounts of raw material flowed from the USSR to Nazi Germany, including 1.6 million tons of grain and 900,000 tons of oil. Stalin invaded Finland, as it was firmly assigned by the treaty to the Soviet sphere of influence. The region of Karelia remains under Russian control to this day, a testimony to the lasting impact of that pact. Many cities that were once Polish are now in Ukraine or Belarus. Biblical prophecy suggests that a similar treaty will occur between Russia and a United States of Europe, at least the European core nations under German leadership, in the near future. A non-aggression pact, if you please. Now, of course, things will change shortly after that, as they did in the past, and the EU, under German rule, will hear disturbing rumors from the East, from Russia and other Far Eastern nations. And then they will attack these Far Eastern nations under the beast, or the king of the north, as the Bible calls him, and then he will finally lose. But this is prophesied. It is interesting that it parallels what happened during World War II. At this point, Stalin is glorified by Putin and his followers as a great leader. And we see more and more right-wing parties developing in Europe and also, of course, in Germany, Austria, other nations. Things are coming to a head, my friends, very soon from now. Have we learned the lessons from World War II? The lesson that no war fought by human beings will ever bring peace, that the consequences of war are terrible and devastating. The answer is no, we have not. We haven't learned the lesson. And so another terrible war is going to take place very soon from now. The Bible is absolutely certain and clear on that matter. We have prepared a free booklet which goes into the issue of war, asking the question, should you fight in war? And this booklet has a lot to say about what the Bible teaches us on the issue of war. You might be surprised when you read it, because you might never have heard what the Bible really says on this topic. So please ask for a free copy, and until next time, this is Norbert Link for the Standing Watch program.
Standing Watch is a presentation by The Church of the Eternal God, P.O. Box 270519, San Diego, California 92198. More information is also available at our website, eternalgod.org.